The Florida Podcast Network, the voice of Florida. This is episode 4A of the Finding Florida podcast on the Florida Podcast Network, around the state in one day at Florida Huddle.
Welcome to Finding Florida, the podcast that takes you from country to the coast. Join your tour guides, an unlikely pair, city girl Jemmy and country boy Glenn, as they explore the amazing sights and sounds of the Sunshine State.
Thank you for joining us on this lead up to our fourth adventure of the Finding Florida podcast.
On our last adventure, we saw the sights and then saw the emergency room on the wheels of Daytona Beach. We had a great time on everything from beach access motorized wheelchairs to classic hot rods and race cars.
But on this episode, we introduce you to the president and CEO of Visit Florida, the state's official tourism marketing corporation. We talk about Florida's travel and tourism industries and some new stuff that's coming to Florida that you can see pretty soon. And then we get into a whole bunch of other fun Florida stuff. Listen in.
I would dot the West with little hometowns and fill the East with excitement. Right in the middle, I put a great big playground. I would surround it all with water from coast to coast to coast, and I'd give it a name, Florida.
Now, just a quick reminder for you to go ahead and jump into the FPN Insiders on Facebook. It's a closed group exclusively for superfans of Florida Podcast Network shows, such as the Finding Florida podcast, and we will give you access to early scoops, contests, and other special treats. So Glenn and I look forward to meeting you in there.
And we got to meet a bunch of fun folks who told us about their slice of Florida at the Florida Huddle we were at a couple weeks ago, which is a travel and tourism conference put on by Visit Florida. And we got to attend as media. We got media passes, our first
right,
ones.
Guys, we were official, so everybody watch out. We're coming for it.
We're on the scene now. So we have put these chats together for episode 4B, which will be out, 2 days?
Next day,
1 or 2
tomorrow.
days? Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Take a little road trip around the state. But in this preview episode, 4A, we'll tell you more about Visit Florida and our travel and tourism industries here in Florida. I got some good stuff, some interesting stuff to bring to you. Now, as we mentioned before, Visit Florida is Florida's official tourism and marketing corporation.
And there are different visitors bureaus throughout the entire state that Visit Florida works with on a regular basis and helps support, such as Daytona Beach. They have their area convention and visitors bureau. They actually worked with us on the last episode. There's Visit Tampa Bay, Punta Gorda, the Florida Keys have one. There's one Visit Palm Beach. They're all over the place. So the list goes on and on.
So we got to meet with the reps of some of these places and talk to them about what makes their town or area of Florida so special, essentially taking you with us around the entire state in one day in episode 4B. In fact, here are a few quick clips. Are there adult beverages involved in the drum circle?
Or other things.
I kind of was figuring that.
Only if you wish. There are some great bars across the street.
What happens in the drum circle stays in the drum circle.
Exactly.
One of my personal favorite things to do, which I've never heard of it anywhere else, is horse surfing. They actually go into the water and you can ski, which is where you hold onto their tails and they're swimming.
Stop it.
And then you can also surf on them where you stand on their back.
This sounds completely made up and magical.
Magical, yes. Made up. I promise that.
Every year in January, at the end of the month, we have Gasparilla, which is a pirate-themed Mardi Gras, you could call it.
No alcohol consumed at all in that.
Any flashing?
No.
How close to Mardi Gras does it really get?
I'm going to withhold any comment on that. So Gasparilla.
Kevin has never flashed.
That is true.
And I never flashed when I lived in New Orleans, ever, not once. And as one more reminder, if you're interested in podcasting yourself, join us at PodFest coming up here in just a few days. It's an annual podcasting convention geared towards the independent podcaster, and it's coming up February 8th through the 10th in Orlando. Glenn and I will both be speaking and doing presentations and sharing all kinds of knowledge about podcasting straight from our very own brain. So come and meet us. Go to podfest.us for more info.
And for those that don't know, that's where I met Jemmy, was last year at Podfest.
This is true.
If we hadn't been there, we wouldn't be together today doing this show.
So it makes miracles happen.
That's right. But for now, let's go to this episode where we talk about Florida's travel and tourism industries. So let the games begin. Well, I have some interesting stuff here that we really haven't talked about tourism as a whole in Florida yet and done some statistics and some facts. So we're going to do that in today's episode. Did you know that the Sunshine State is number one in tourism in the world? Florida is the number one visited tourist destination in the world.
No
of any
way.
place in the world. Yes. The state of Florida is the most visited. Yep.
Stop it.
That's
More
right.
than New York?
More than New York.
I'm
More than
shocked.
California. It's Florida.
Wow.
And the Sunshine State tourism is our number one industry here. So that by far, 112 million visitors visited us last year in 2017.
Jeez.
Florida's visitors spent, get this, $108 billion here last year.
Wow.
So tourists do bring in the dollars, and it supports 1.4 million Florida jobs. And you know what? If we ever can make money doing this, it'll be 1.4 million and two.
Yeah, there we go. That's good goal to aim for.
Yes, that's right.
But you're right. Travel and tourism is huge. I know I used to be a server back in the day. I was never really good, which is why I think I was at 6 different places in such a short little amount of time. But there's definitely like a season. You know it when the snowbirds are coming in town. Then you know it the minute that they kind of all migrate back out. It's like everything, the roads become so much clearer. Like it's crazy. Yeah.
You can get restaurants again.
I know. We can actually get reservations. It's nice.
There are 30,000 lakes, and we have more golf courses in the state of Florida than any other state. We have 1,000 golf courses.
Now, that I believe, because you could throw a rock and hit a golf course anywhere. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. There's a lot of people don't know this if you're not from here. There's so many communities that are built around golf courses. Like it's okay. You want to move into a neighborhood? Is it gated? Does it have a clubhouse, and is there a golf course? That's right. Or tennis courts, right? I mean, but there's so many neighborhoods that have golf courses in them. It's crazy. Or people live on the greens and stuff. It's insane.
All right, it's time for everybody to guess. Orlando has the second most hotel rooms of any city in the country. First guess is who has the most hotel rooms. What city has the most hotel rooms?
In the country? New York City.
Yeah, see, I think everybody said New York, when in fact they should have been thinking of Las Vegas.
Oh, right. Duh.
Yeah, because that's all Las Vegas is hotel rooms.
Right? Everything is a hotel. Like the casinos are hotels. Yeah. Chapels probably are hotels.
Any guess on how many hotel rooms are in Orlando alone?
No way. I can't even... No. No guesses. I have no idea. 100,000.
120,000.
Wow.
Now, Vegas.
And 119,000 are Disney related.
Yes, that's good. I could bring that up next because I have here the largest hotels in Florida. I have the top 4. And I want to see if you can guess what they are. And actually, number 1 on the list, you and I were in just recently.
So I'm going to guess the Grand Floridian because it's massive.
It's not even in the top 4.
Stop it. That place was huge.
I know. But the other place we were in was bigger, and it didn't seem that way with the part
Animal
we
Kingdom
saw.
Lodge?
Port Orleans.
Oh,
Disney's Port Orleans had
That's right. It's like a whole city.
3,056 rooms in the one hotel.
You know what? And I think someone gave us that little bit of trivia while we were there. I should have known that. Darn it.
Number 2, biggest hotel in the state of Florida by number of rooms is Disney's Pop Century with 2,880 rooms.
Pop Century? I've never even heard of that one.
Yeah, that's one of their their value hotels.
Oh,
not discount.
Disco?
But
Dude, were you going to say discount?
Hotels.
You said disco.
And now they're expanding this one. Number 3 on the list, they're doing a lot of construction there right now, is Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, which I've stayed at before. That one has 2,100 rooms and is massive. I know when we stayed there, it took forever to walk to get food.
Oh, and that's the one downside about it. If you need to go to like the front desk, leave yourself a trail of bread.
It literally took us like a half an hour to walk there. Now we head out of Disney for number 4. That's Orlando's World Center Marriott. And that's right outside of Walt Disney World and has 2,000 rooms. And it's just off a Disney property, convenient to Route 4 and the Pleasure Island. Downtown is... No, I have not been there. I've not been there for a conference or anything.
Yeah.
But those are the top 4.
Wow.
In the state of Florida, in the whole state. Yeah, so now some other things here I have for you is... We have some big rides in this state because of the amusement parks and things.
Yes. So and this is going to be a list of things that Jemmy will not ride.
These are the things that Jemmy will never do. Florida's 7 tallest rides.
Oh, dear God.
So
I'm going to throw up just thinking about it, aren't I?
Okay, so number 6 on the list is actually in Busch Gardens, and that is the Drop Tower. You saw one of those, a miniature. You were on a miniature one of those when you went to Legoland, where it takes you straight up and drops you straight down.
It was called the Bouncing Beetle or something like that.
Yeah, yours was tiny. Okay. Yeah, and it scared the crap out of you, and it was tiny.
I hated it. Every second of it, I hated it.
Probably went up, 50 feet maybe?
No, like 20, to be honest.
This one at Busch Gardens goes up 300 feet.
Ugh.
That's 30 stories.
Ugh. Wait, which is taller, this one or Tower of Terror? Is Tower of Terror on your list?
Tower of Terror is shorter than this one.
Okay.
Much shorter. Actually.
Really?
Yes.
Because I look at Tower of Terror, I'm like, jeez.
Which is most fun ride. I love that ride. Okay, so then we head out of the amusement parks, actually, and you've seen this one. We saw it when we were there. It's in Fun Spot America in Kissimmee. It's the bungee drop, the purple towers that goes up, and the bungee drops you 300 feet. And by the way, if you want to see some of the funniest videos, go on YouTube and search for bungee drop Florida. And they put a webcam on your face, and you'll see the people do the drop, and the screams and the looks of utter terror are very funny.
Does anyone pass out on that ride? Have you seen the pass out videos?
Yes, they do on that. It's just a bungee. They drop you
/ freaky.
It's crazy. Now, the next one I want to get you on, number 5, is the Orlando Eye. I definitely. Okay.
Is that the Ferris wheel thing?
That's the Ferris wheel.
Okay, yeah. I'll give that one a shot.
It's enclosed and it looks very sturdy and it goes very slow.
As long as it's enclosed, it's a permanent structure. It's not like they rebuild it because right now they have the South Florida Fair going on.
Oh yeah,
and
no, it's not like
that one has the largest traveling Ferris wheel. And I'm like, well, it'd be cool to go on a really big Ferris wheel, but it's traveling, so they literally have to deconstruct it and reconstruct it like every few. No, thank you. No. Yeah. No. But this one's permanent. I might just be doing it. I could do it.
You can hide behind me if it gets too bad. And that's 400 feet high, by the way.
Oh my God. Maybe not.
Now, right beside that one, they're building this crazy ride, and it's coming next year. It was scheduled to open 2015, 2016, but it didn't. This is the spinning swing ride. Now, you go to the fair at the Florida Fair, you'll see the swings that you sit in the little swing seat and it's on the end of a chain and it swings you around.
And you go flying around and around. Yeah.
And I've done that one before.
I've heard tragic stories about that one before.
Yeah, they break occasionally and then the people go flying.
Occasionally.
Well, if you go flying on this one, you're dead because you're going to be 420 feet in the air.
What?
Hanging on the seat.
What?
Yes.
Oh, dear Christ.
So
why, people? Why?
This one is not built yet either. And this is going to be at a new place. And I want to talk about this a little bit because it's coming and a lot of people don't know it's coming to Orlando. It's called Skyplex. Have you ever heard of Skyplex?
No, but I'm intrigued.
It's opening next year or 2000. Yeah, they're scheduled to 2019. Again, this one's a little behind schedule. It's supposed to be 2017. They're putting numerous rides in this one that are all high. Like Skyplex.
Okay.
It has that name for a reason.
People.
So the first one
What's the matter with people?
The first one is going to be the tallest roller coaster in the world at 570 feet.
Why? Why would you voluntarily shoot yourself towards the ground
Now, what this is going to be, you're going to love this. It's a tower that's going to go straight up 570 feet. They're going to have an observation deck on top, and the roller coaster is wrapped around the tower. So it's going to, this is what it's.
So you either go flying off into Never Never Land or you go flying into a building.
Well, unlike most coasters, it won't include a first drop that takes you all the way down to the ground, but will incorporate a series of inversions, drops, and other elements as a single car train makes their way down the tower.
I see.
If you are the least bit afraid of heights, turning upside down at 550 feet in the air could be a deal breaker. No, deal breaker is probably too loose a word for that.
So it's not one big, huge, long drop, but it is a series of smaller drops. But by their calculations, smaller is probably still like really, 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 really big, and it's multiple.
It's turning you upside down to do it.
Oh God. No.
And the drop ride we just talked about that was on the list that drops you 300 feet, goes straight up and comes straight down. They're building one of those also that's going to be 450 feet. It will be the tallest thrill ride of its kind in the world.
Why? Why?
Then they're also putting in a 600-foot zip line. Now, we are taking you zip lining. That we're going to get done.
Okay, wait. You need to pause. I need to put a plea out to the people. Please listen to me very clearly. I need someone to explain to me why they would voluntarily go on something like this that drops you 500 feet, 300 feet, whatever. Like, please email me, JAIME at FloridaPodcastNetwork.com, because I don't understand why anybody, sane person who's not currently medicated, would ever do this. Please.
They're putting in a 600-foot zip line traction also, but unlike most zip lines, I've done a 600-foot zip line, but they're horizontal. You go down a little bit, they're horizontal. This one's not. It's vertical.
Christ almighty.
And it takes you on a controlled fall for 600 feet.
No!
Not only that, get this. They're going to have a 10-story parking garage, and they're putting a water park on the top of the parking garage. On the top floor, they're putting a whole water park on the top floor. Now, that's kind of cool.
Now, I'm sorry. I remember, now I need to go back and look and do some research, but I remember as a kid, and could be an urban legend, but I could have sworn there was a water park here that mysteriously closed and was very, very popular, and the word was that a kid went flying right off of a water slide. So imagine you're at a top of a parking garage. That happens. No.
Plus, there's a lot of weight in a water park. I hope they build that parking garage real well.
Right? Oh, my gosh.
So that's coming up. It's called the Skyplex. You can look up Orlando Skyplex to find out more about that.
Christ almighty.
So there you go.
Can we just agree that we will never go and do any of this? Or we'll have a guest co-host for you or something.
All right, I have some fast facts for you, too, about Florida.
Okay.
Florida has more toll roads, so be prepared, than any other state in the union.
Oh, joy.
The small town of Pearson in northwest Florida is known as the fern capital of the world, and more ferns are shipped from there than any other place in the world.
Oh, point of pride.
Florida is the largest producer of watermelons in the country. Did you know that?
No.
It produces the most tomatoes, strawberries, and sugar, too.
Tomatoes, strawberries, and sugar.
We're a very sweet state. You might be surprised to learn that Jacksonville, the area of Jacksonville, Florida, is the largest city in the United States.
No kidding.
In area.
Like square footage.
Yep, that's right. And that the refrigerator was invented here in 1851 by John Gorey in a little town of Apalachicola. How do you say that? Apalachicola. And everybody living there is now yelling at us.
I don't know. I can't see it.
Yeah.
Apalachicola?
That's it. And that was invented in Florida as well.
God bless him, because that has been a game changer for all of us.
Yes, that's right. So there you go. There's a little bit about tourism in Florida and the new things coming up that you can look forward to.
Well, thank you for sharing all of that interesting stuff about Florida and our travel and tourism history and a lot of stuff that's coming up down the pike. Hopefully I won't be shooting down any of those pikes anytime soon because they all sound horrifying. But anyway, so Visit Florida, getting back to them. And the whole reason we pretty much got to do this episode at all. They serve as the official source of travel and planning for visitors across the globe. So if you're looking to do some fun stuff in Florida and want to discover attractions new and old, you can go and visit Florida at visitflorida.org. But they put on all kinds of events and conferences throughout the year to support and propel Florida's travel and tourism industries, including the one we just went to, Florida Huddle. We got to be media guests and meet with a bunch of reps from visitor boards, attractions, hotels, and destinations throughout the state.
And what that means for all of you is we made a lot of friends that are going to help us do some really cool stuff coming up this year.
Very exciting.
Really cool stuff. I think you're going to like some of the things we have planned now. Starting with next month, but we'll talk about that in the next episode. Located right in the state's capital of Tallahassee, Visit Florida works closely to connect people in the private travel industry with government resources and agencies. And Florida Huddle puts every region of Florida under one roof with destinations, attractions, hotels, resorts. And you have to go to their YouTube page because they have a ton of video, really good video.
Oh, yeah, they are really good.
Yeah.
They make Florida seem even more excited than we do.
That's right. To learn more about Visit Florida, to find attractions or plan a vacation or whatever, go to visitflorida.org.
Or follow their social media channels. They are at sunshinematters.org. You can pick them all up there, or just jump on Facebook and search for them. On Twitter, they're known as Florida Tourism. And be sure to share all the fun that you get into with their hashtag LoveFL. Ken Lawson recently assumed the role last January as their new president and CEO. We got to meet him. He was full of enthusiasm. He was able to move and motivate a crowd like I haven't seen since, what did you compare him to, like a Baptist preacher?
Yeah, he seemed like a Baptist preacher up there. He was just going to town, and he has more enthusiasm than anybody in the state of Florida. He has the right job.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so we got to hear him. He did a little bit of an introduction to himself and to Visit Florida while we were at Florida Huddle, and the whole room was just captivated by him. He was fantastic. And so without further delay, let's introduce you to the very first person we were lucky enough to connect with at Florida Huddle, Visit Florida's president and CEO, Ken Lawson.
Good morning. I'm glad to be on this podcast.
I'm so excited to have you. We saw you up there during the breakfast, and we're like, he is just full of fire. He is jazzed up. What are you the most jazzed up about this event?
You know what thing is about connection? You know, we got vendors from all over the world here to sell Florida, all right? And the most important thing, listen, I've been on this job for 1 year as of today, right? And the most important
Happy anniversary.
Thank you very much. And the biggest thing I've learned about this industry is about love. It's about love of our state, love of our business opportunities, and also love of people. We have open arms in this state. I don't care where you're from. If you got a good heart and good intentions and want to have some fun, we're here for you.
Exactly.
Okay?
That's what we're hoping to showcase with our show, too. And we know that Visit Florida puts on a lot of different events throughout the year. So how does Florida Huddle kind of slot in? What is Florida Huddle's role in everything that Visit Florida does?
You know what? It is a crown jewel of what we do.
Really? Well, we're glad we're here.
Well, you know what? Think about it. International tourists, all right, are huge for our economy, right? Because international tourists, they come, they stay longer, they travel throughout the state, and they spend more money. And that's important for our economy. Let's say this. For Florida, 1.4 million Floridians depend on tourists for their jobs, right? That means they can feed their families, pay their rent, pay their mortgage, and fulfill their dreams.
We're two of them.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right. Say, I'm three. So 1, 2, 3. Thank you for coming to Florida. We want you. But bottom line, we want, the international market to know what we have to offer. And it's not just, our big locations, say Jacksonville, Tampa, Orlando, Miami, which are wonderful, but it's the panhandle. All right.
Well, that's been one of the biggest challenges, hasn't it? It's getting people out of the parks and seeing that we have a whole other state here. It's one of the reasons we do our show.
Sure.
To highlight those other things in the state.
Well, you know what? It's an opportunity because, think about it. If you're from Germany, know where you like to go? Crystal River. You know why? Swim the manatees.
Yeah.
All right. You're from Canada. We got a whole bunch of people down in West Palm Beach, right? They have houses. But, we found that over the last 15 quarters, our Canadian tourist numbers have gone down. Gone from 4.1 million to 3.2. So this year, since I've been in, when I came in, I met with the Consul General in Canada, who's based in Miami. And we had a real good discussion. And I realized that we weren't sharing the diversity of Florida with the diversity of Canada. So we went to Toronto the first time and met with the Canadian press and also Montreal and just talked. But then the second time with Governor Scott. And Governor Scott announced in like their version of Union Square, our Canadian parity program. Because like the Canadian dollar is like, 80 cents to our dollar. And we got partners, Air Canada Travel, also Dollar Rental Car and others to have a program where it's equal. You get a discount. And also we had our partnership displays. We took over their version of Times Square with their videos and it was just bling, bling, bling. We are open. We want you. And we're constantly sending that message because we want our Canadian friends to come here. And for our international tourists, we're from Canada, the UK, Brazil.
What's the biggest growth area in international? Is it South America?
Well, you know what's interesting? Okay, so Brazil.
I would have guessed South America.
Well, you know what? Brazil has been number 3, but Colombia is an emerging market, emerging opportunity. Huh. I went to a World Economic Forum discussion in Toronto. The president of Colombia was talking about changes he's made, in terms of fighting corruption. And there's this, just consistency there. And their tourists want to travel. And we realized this is an opportunity. And then as I was talking about Canada, same for the UK. UK is number 2. When I went to World Travel Market and saw all the competition, we had stands from like every state and every country in the world fighting for that UK pound. I sent a message to British Airways, also Virgin, that we are committed. We are fighting for their pound. We want them here. So, with the emerging markets in Colombia or say existing markets that perhaps we haven't focused on as much because we took them for granted, or even opportunities in China. Like, say, for instance, they finally get a direct flight from China to Florida. Boom. We're talking
game
about
over.
Game over. But we're facing competition from California, Texas, all over.
Right.
And like this year, the legislature, we went through our discussion last year with the legislature. We're fully funded. This year, the governor asked for $100 million because we want to beat back the competition and show that we are ready to go.
Part of our mission, too, with the shows we do in the Florida Podcast Network is showing Floridians that there's stuff to do in their backyard that they just don't do.
I know.
Is that part of what you guys are trying to do, too, is get Floridians out doing more stuff
well, you know what?
in their own backyard?
I'm responsible by virtue of the law to bring folks from out of state here. But you know what? Like, I'm from Gainesville, right? Grew up in Gainesville. And it wasn't until I was in my 30s I realized I missed out, on Ginny Springs and other things beyond the University of Florida.
Please tell me you walked out to the park and walked with the alligators at least once or twice living in
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Okay.
Please
recently,
tell me you did that.
I went to Kissimmee, right? Okay. And they're, I got the name of the park, but, we got this great lawyer who invested in his own, park. You go out, on the water. And I went up to the alligators. I got real close. As close as I am to you. I'm like, that's an alligator. Wait. I'm like, okay.
Was it a staring contest? Or
I was trying to feed them. They said, get closer. But bottom line, for Floridians, for Georgians, from New Yorkers, there's all kinds of locations across the state. And we want people to enjoy them.
So one of the things that you were mentioning up there, you're like, behind those clouds, there's some sunshine. And we're definitely known for our...
clouds here.
Yeah.
No clouds.
We're definitely known for our sunshine, our sand, our big amusement attractions. What would you like to see Florida become known for?
You know what?
Else?
I want Florida to be known for not just, our theme parks, which are wonderful, our beaches, but also our culture. You know what? Some people, when I went to Canada, I was told that, hey, look, folks in Toronto want to get away for a cultural experience. And we know your beaches, we don't know your culture. I said, dadgummit, you haven't been to St. Augustine, to one of the oldest forts that was built?
Yeah.
You haven't been to Tampa or St.
Ocala. I live in Ocala for horse country, right?
Think about it.
Yeah.
Horse country. Or Sarasota. There's an opera house.
But that's what's so great about Florida. There's so much diversity in our culture.
Wellington, for that matter.
I know.
Horse-wise.
Yeah. That's right. Bottom line, you said it. It's diversity. I want Florida to be known for the quality of its diversity, the power of its reach, and also for the enjoyment across the state.
I couldn't help but notice the theme kind of in that video that was shown for Fort Lauderdale.
Wasn't it a beautiful video?
It was great, but it was about being very welcoming and all of that, welcoming people of all different kinds of creeds and backgrounds and all of that. So do you think that's a message you'd like to see permeate throughout Florida and out to the world?
Let me tell you this. In my mind, that message is there already. You know what? I came into Tallahassee environment back in 2011, and I've gotten a chance to work with Governor Scott. And when I started a year ago, I said, Governor Scott, what do I need to know about doing this job?
Dadgummit.
Yeah, dadgummit. And also, I'm in Florida State. If you know Bobby Bowden, dadgummit, that's a saying. But anyway, Governor Scott said, you need to make sure people know that we are open to everyone. Our state is open to folks who care about having fun, joyous, being safe. And we've invested so much money from the governor and the legislature into our infrastructure, $10 billion. In terms like crime numbers, it's the lowest in 46 years. There's a commitment to send the message that Florida, it's not just open for business, but it's a safe, healthy place for tourists. And we want any tourist who has a good heart, who wants to be in a safe place, have fun. I don't care who you are, what you look like, where you're from. We want you in my state.
Well, we're glad you don't care who we are, what we look like, and where we're from, that you opened up this convention to us to be part of the media here. We're really excited about being here today.
Well, thanks for having me
so much.
I hope I didn't talk too much, but you know what?
No, you're great.
I love my state.
Obviously, thank you.
All right, y'all take care now. Thank you.
Florida, where you get school credit for learning to water ski.
Guess what time it is, Glenn?
What time is it?
It's time for us to find out more fun stuff about the state of Florida. This month's hero. Play that first clip, Glenn.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Harbor Point Drive. There's a boat on fire.
Okay, you said there's a boat on fire?
There's a giant boat on fire. People are jumping out.
911, what is the address of your emergency? Hey, it's Pasco. I have a gentleman at Harbor Point Drive.
There's a boat on fire on the shore.
On the shore?
It's on the shore. It's manageable. People are jumping out.
Okay, I'll get somebody out there.
I feel like it's going to explode. It's urgent. All
right, they're getting their fire department out there, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let me tell you exactly what's going on. So Captain Mike Batten, 37, he has one of those jobs that's very routine and probably usually just goes off without a hitch. Same thing day in, day out, every day until that one day when it just isn't, right? And so his job is to shuttle casino cruise passengers from the dock to a larger ship that's in international waters off the coast of Tampa, where gambling is legal. But on this trip, about 10 minutes into it, he noticed that the motor was overheating. So he went to check it out while another crew member drove the boat, and he noticed a little steam. But so he returned back to the helm to take back over driving and return the boat to dock. He thought, if I just get it to dock, everything will be fine. But soon after that, they noticed some smoke, and he sent crew members down with fire extinguishers to check it out. And they said they came back saying they couldn't even get to the motor. It was that bad. So he quickly steered the boat to the more shallow area of water, near a sandbar, so he could run it aground. So that way passengers could just jump right off the ship and try to wade their way back to shore. So kind of play that second clip.
I would never play blackjack again in my life.
It's not worth your life, right? So play that second clip. You'll get an up close and personal look at what happened.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
We saw smoke coming out of the boat, and then the boat started on fire, and everyone inside now. Some people jumped from it, but most of them are inside. And all I see right now is a fire.
Okay, so the boat is on fire?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a big boat. You need to get ambulance as soon as possible. Okay. Everyone now inside, and it's fire all over the boat.
Okay, is there anybody on the boat?
Yeah, it's full of people. Your people jumped out of it, but most of them inside still. And all that I see right now is fire.
Okay. One moment.
I can hear ambulance coming.
Okay, stay on the line with me.
Wow. It's hard to be 911 and stay cool, isn't it?
Oh, I know. I don't know how, even as an EMT, I can kind of put myself there a little bit, but that's another level, because you're right there with someone who's freaking out. But I mean, Captain Batten, kudos to him. He saved 49 passengers that day by thinking quickly, immediately turning around, deciding, I can't even make it back to dock. I need to just run it aground and let these people jump for their lives. And because he did that, he saved 49 passengers. He's been understandably rattled, and he was quoted as saying that he said, I was just doing my job, and someone eventually died. I can't put that out of my head. I'll be back on the water. I just need a little time. So apparently after looking into it, they figured out that something was wrong with the water line to one of the engines, and the water turned into steam, which eventually caused the engine to just burst into flames. So you never know when something like that's going to happen, and when you're going to have to be a quick thinker on your feet and jump into action like he did. So major kudos to Captain Mike Batten. Crazy story, right?
Crazy story. Yeah.
So Florida's full of fantastic heroes like him, and we just want to bring more and more stories like that to you guys. Also from the Tampa area, but they became known for quite a different reason. Okay, Glenn. So let me set the scene.
Okay.
You're driving through Tampa. It's a sunny afternoon. You're drunk as a skunk.
Okay.
So that's mistake number one. You're driving drunk. You get the munchies and you think, well, this is perfect. There's a drive-thru right over there. And it's your favorite.
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell! You're winning.
That's where you go when you get the munchies when you're drunk.
You're winning. So you pull in and you pull up to that speaker box thing, but no one greets you right away. But you think, that's okay. I'll just take a quick nap before I order. You close your eyes and you drift off. You're not sure for how long, but the next thing you know, you're being woken up by the store manager. You wipe off some drool and you manage to slur out some words. I'd like to order a burrito. The store manager looks at you and says, sir, this isn't a Taco Bell. So, question number one. Where are you?
I'm going to drive through that's not the Taco Bell.
Yes.
It is... I'm at the bank.
The store manager blinks and says, sir, this is the Bank of America on Mariner Boulevard. You blink back and you drive off, which leads us to question number 2. Glenn, how far did you get before falling asleep again?
To the end of the driveway, to the stop sign. I never got out of the bank parking lot, probably, knowing me.
Well, deputies were able to catch up with you pretty quickly because you only made it to the parking lot.
I was really sleepy.
With your car still running, you tried to explain yourself, which the deputies noted in their report as, quote, making several unusual statements and having, quote, delayed reactions.
Yeah, but I do that sober, in my defense.
Not surprisingly, you failed a series of sobriety tests, and as a result, you were arrested. Oh, and by the way, they also found the oxycodone and Xanax you had on you, but they also, luckily, found them with prescriptions made out to you. So thank goodness for that. Yeah. So, question number 3. Glenn, how much was your bail set for, Florida man?
$3,000.
Ah, you got off lucky. Hernando County Jail set your bail at $1,000. Yay!
I'm out of there.
All in a day of fun.
Back to the bar.
Tampa, Florida. Yeah, Florida, they have their drunks. They go to the bank drive-thru instead of Taco Bell. Yay, Tampa. But Tampa also representing with the heroes. So there you go.
Yeah, Tampa was well represented today.
Oh, my Lord. Well, anyways, thanks for coming along with us once again as we are finding Florida. Florida's travel and tourism industries, they take full advantage of our many unique towns and corners of the state. And you just got an inside peek into our fun episode meeting reps from all over, which will be coming out next.
And that will be in episode 4B. And for our adventure next month, we are headed on a cruise. That's right. A whole bunch of us from the Horse Radio Network are going on a cruise. Jemmy is going along.
Yeah.
Her first cruise. And of course, cruising is a huge industry here in Florida. There's many ports, and people leave out of several ports here in Florida on many different cruise ships. And one of our stops along the way, we're going to be on Royal Caribbean's Enchantment of the Seas, leaving out of Miami. One of our stops will be Key West, where with the help of the Key West tourist people, thank you very much, Laura Myers, we are going to be exploring the signature things of Key West, because Key West is known for a lot of things. We're going to be, in one day, we're going to do the signature sites, eats, drinks, and attractions that kind of give you a taste of what Key West is. And we have to do it not only in one day this time, we have to do it in one ship day, which means it's shortened even because we have to get off the ship and we have to get back on the ship.
Oh, my gosh.
So it's going to be an interesting day to see if we can get it done. And we're going to have a lot of people with us, so the sound should be really good for that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Very good. Well, tune in the next day or so for episode 4B as we take you around the state in one day.
And to find us on social media, just head to findingfloridapodcast.com for all the links, or search for Find FL Podcast and hook up with our new Finding Florida Podcast YouTube channel for behind-the-scenes videos of our adventures.
And here's to your next adventure.
Testing 1, 2, 3. My voice is still all jacked up.
Yeah, it's you're still a little raspy.
I'm still all sexy, Jessica.
You are. And you're going to hear from some of them in the next episode. What are we calling the next episode? It's not an adventure.
Just read it. It's right there. Just read it.
Oh. You're going to have an editing nightmare, and I apologize. 3, 2, 1. In fact, here are a few quick clips.
Yay, we got through that part.
So I do need to take a look at them and kind of rewrite them. Oh, sorry. Why do you do this with me? Why don't you just find a different kind of actually follow? I'm not good at instruction.
3, 2, 1. All right, Ken. So,
Ken?
Oh, I caught you. It's random. All right, ready?
Do you even know a Ken?
I don't know.
I keep calling you Jamie, so we're even.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1.